Greetings Darlas Forms and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I want to talk about atypical autism in real life. At the moment so many autistic YouTubers are watching this brilliant television show on Netflix called Atypical, and it's becoming really popular and very well praised, I think, because a lot of people had some doubts about it, but now it's taken over by storm, and a lot of people said that they learned so much about it, which is top notch. So well done Atypical team, you did yourselves proud. Even though I watched the show, I just didn't really want to do a review because one, I'm not that fantastic about doing a review that's outside of Disney, and two, you guys may or may not be bored after so many people just publishing different reviews. So I decided to take it on a little bit of a twist. I'm not sure if this type of video has been done before on the subject, but I'm going to go in a bit of a style, well, sort of in the style, from somebody who has done a similar thing, but just sit down and explain what they learned through the internet and hearing voices between two people. And that person is PurpleElla. And her video I watched on the differences between boys and girls on autism, really great. So I'm going to give her credit for that. And if you want to have a look at the video, I'll leave a link in the description box below or somewhere around the video. And if you get a chance, please watch it because you will learn so much through that video. You won't be disappointed. Anyway, let's get down to the video. So, what is atypical autism? How does it really affect someone in real life? Well, I could tell you about these things through my internet research, but also I'm here to sit down and talk to you about it through my own experience because yes, I have atypical autism, as well as high-functioning autism and epilepsy. I knew I was autistic, but I recently found out I had atypical autism when a couple of social workers just came to my house and to talk about some matters to improve my independence for my autism with me and with my parents. But I really didn't think I had atypical autism. If I heard the word before or someone mentioned it to me, then I probably wouldn't believed it. But now as an adult, I think, yeah, that's me, I can relate to that. So I've just learned to accept that in a whole different perspective. Even though somebody can have atypical autism, that doesn't mean that they are the same person. They can all have different hobbies, different experiences, different favourites, and so on and so forth. When somebody who's not on the spectrum hears of the words atypical autism, they just look at the person and sometimes they'll think, you don't look autistic, you just don't look it at all. You just look like a person who doesn't have autism or let alone a disability. But as I was thinking about it, it reminded me of a mask. So this is what I like to call masking autism. So imagine if you are making a one-to-one conversation with a person and then that person who has atypical autism just tells the other person, I have atypical autism. But when the other person replies to this, then those with the atypical autism may imagine themselves just having a little mask around your face. So whether it's a mask that covers your eyes, covers your whole face, or something like in Phantom of the Opera where they can mask half of your face. And it may or may not be true for most people, but a lot of people with atypical autism may see things very differently. So they may not see atypical autism as something to mask, but they may see it as something that they can either put it away in the cupboard that they have inside, put inside their emotions, their thoughts, feelings. It could be anything, I don't really know, but the mask thing was like just my own perspective, and again, a lot of people are different, so I really don't know what other people will respond to that, let alone imagine of how they would feel to chat to somebody and tell them about atypical autism. But the reason why people think that they don't look autistic, well, the people who have atypical autism, that is, they see a lot of signs that may be very unaware. So for example, they can either have excellent social contact or eye contact skills. From my experience, it really wasn't easy to come by, really, to be honest. As I was a child, I had so much difficulty making social and eye contact, and it did take me a while before I could improve that, because in order to improve that, I had a lot of help from my family and from my school tutors as well. And by the time I went to university, I told everybody that I had autism, and that was before I found out I had the atypical autism, or just accepted it at the time. The responses I got were exactly the same. A lot of my friends asked me, "Are you sure you are autistic?" And I thought, okay, why are you asking me this question? I don't really understand that. I told you I have autism, and I was expecting something different, like, yeah, okay, that's fair enough, or don't worry about it, you're still part of a team and we will befriend you whether you have autism or not. But for somebody just to say you don't look autistic, it's a situation where you don't know how to react. It could either be something that you would think, okay, that's fine, I'm completely used to it, or I hate it when they say things like that. Why can't they just talk about something else rather than just questioning me about my autism? And it is very frustrating at times, especially for somebody who has to go through it a million or billion times in their lifetime. Also, their learning skills may be very good or excellent, especially if they are concentrating on their favourite subjects or facts that they like to read or talk about in front of friends and family. And that is something that I can really relate to, because when I always sit down to talk about with my family, I always try to engage with issues and topics such as politics, history, and just social life. But there were times where I read some facts online or in books, and every time I notice one that I never heard from before, or ones that I have heard of before, but they added some new research into it, that's when I think, I've got to tell somebody. So whenever I get this opportunity, I tell my friends and family, and the most reactions they get are not good. Sometimes they're positive, like, ooh, but other times they would question me, like, can you repeat that again? Or, no, I don't believe that. And I always roll my eyes at that, especially when it comes to history, because if somebody gets their facts wrong, I would think, why can't you just get your history right? I don't really mean to sound negative, but I think I really get frustrated when people say that, and this is something I have picked up a lot recently. However, there can be some cons as well, and the cons in question are those that atypical autistic people may feel uncomfortable doing or talking about it, or touching and feeling some of the stuff as well. So, for example, somebody may have a sensory to things that they do not like. And I'll give you an example of this. And this is something that has been going way back to my childhood. Even though I loved the seaside, I always hated having sand between my toes. Every time I walk onto the beach, I could feel a very strange tingling in my toes, and although I can brush them off when I'm swimming in the ocean, and every time I came out of the ocean to run back and be decent and remove my swim costume, I always have to do my feet, and it was a nightmare. All I did to keep my feet dry was to sit down, and then my parents would gently rub the sand off my toes with a towel or a flannel. And the reason why I don't like it is for two reasons. One, because I really hate the sound of the sand that is rubbing off on my toes, and secondly, it makes me want to vomit. I'm not joking, like, it's a really bad thing to have. I haven't really mentioned this in my sensitivity video, so if you want to have a look or find out more information about it, then I'll leave my video link somewhere in the description box below. Atypical autistic people may want to have routines, and the routines that they want to have require the times, the dates, the things that they want to do that were planned in advance, and they have to stick by them no matter what. And if something isn't done or for whatever reason gets cancelled, then they can either have a meltdown or just be really emotionally upset. And this is true in the case of most people on the autistic spectrum I know. And to be honest, I was one of those people too, but in time I learned to be comfortable with change, because my wonderful parents, they taught me that change happens in everyday life, and sometimes, even though people find it difficult to accept it, you have to think of change as a positive thing. And once change happens, you can never go back. And some of these decisions may be good or bad, but you can learn something from them. And also, they can be very frightened of things that other people like. And it could be anything from sleeping in the dark to walking out in the streets at night, or in my case, going on a roller coaster. I did face my fears at one point, but in my lifetime, I only went on one roller coaster about 3 times, and that was it. I couldn't do any more. And another thing that really frightened me was talking to men. And that was the most surprising thing, really. Well, surprising to me now, but not a surprise when I was a child. Because of my previous experiences with bullying, I found that communicating or socialising with boys or men became even harder. And the men who I would normally speak to are my dad and my stepbrother, and my nephews as well. But anybody else, no, I just wouldn't. In time, I've learned to overcome that, and now I've got so many friends as boys, and that is absolutely crazy. But these changes can happen in a very positive light, and I'm so glad that they did, and I wouldn't change it for anything. So in conclusion, not atypical autistic people are the same. They're equally different in many ways. I know there's some things that I can relate to, and then there have been some stuff that I was related to, but they're not really important to me now, and there will be others that I may or may not have experienced it yet, but I'm still waiting to find out. And I'm wondering if there are so many people who feel the same way about themselves. So if you are watching, and if you do have atypical autism, please let me know all the things that you like or dislike in the description box below. No, not the description box, the comment section down below. Donut says. I'm such a donut. Yeah, so in the comment section down below, if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up, and also in the comment section down below, if you want another autistic awareness video you want me to cover, please let me know what it is, and when it's not already been done by somebody and it's completely original, I would be very happy to do it. Well, to be fair, I hope this is original, even though the structure of it wasn't, but again, you just never know. And I really apologise if it's not the original video. And If you have done one like that already, let me know and I will credit you in the description box. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna try and wrap things up a little bit. And if you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell for more future videos. And oh, before I go, if you have seen Atypical, who is your favourite character and what did you like about the show and why? Again, as always, leave your thoughts and comments down below along with the ideas and your experiences as well. And that's all I'm going to say, because I will catch you very soon. And I will be uploading every Sunday, Tuesday and Thursday, with the occasional video on Monday. So if you do hit that notification bell, then you won't miss a video every time it's uploaded. And I'll catch you very soon. Goodbye!
What a wonderful